Hello, Align fam. I know many of you have been asking what to expect for January 25th, which will be the fifth anniversary of the Line Experience. And you guys have given a lot of positive feedback about these mini episodes that we're doing to prepare you for the event and why we're even talking about these specific topics. So, one topic we're going to talk about is chakras, how to really leverage the chakras, the empowerment of chakras, and why it's important. And for those of you who have no idea what I'm talking about, that's why we're bringing Ida to talk about this, who's been deeply trained in this system. I think, first of all, Ida, would be great for you to just talk about what like got you into chakra system, like, a little bit about your training because you've done extensive work with teachers as well. So give us a little bit of background so people know what to expect.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me. So the main reason why I became interested in the chakras is because I saw the intersection that it had, both within the world of science, and you can, find that there's amazing modern research now that has proven and has developed our understanding of this chakra system, which are located in different points and different centers of the body. And the intersection with modern psychology, as well as this kind of sort of like spiritual perception of life, really. And the most beautiful thing that really attracted me is that as you study them, as you understand them, you're really just kind of exploring and discovering the different aspects of you, the senses of perceptions, your behavioral patterns that can either help you thrive if they're being nurtured, if they're being exercised in proper ways, or they can actually hold you in cycles of grief, cycles of self-sabotage, and even self-pity. So when you really understand the chakra system, you are either opening the door for full potential or you're closing the door on living the life that you want to dream.
I love it. I love it. So why you kind of hit upon it. So would love for you to share with everybody why we should care. Why should we explore understanding the chakra system, why it's important.
Yeah, absolutely. I think think about I have a couple questions that maybe will stir up some reflections. But I think how often have we experienced a moment where fear or shame stopped us from pursuing something that our heart deeply wanted, whether that was in love or at work or in our own self-expression. Or maybe even you can recall a moment where you felt unseen or rejected and how that kind of sort of shaped the perception that you have of yourself and the way that you show up and move through the world after that experience. You can even think about the parts of you that feel most stuck or heavy, that if you connect to them, oftentimes what you find is that there's trapped guilt or fear and doubt. Yet, I find that as you understand the chakra system and in the ways that we're investing and manipulating and utilizing our energy, we begin to discover that those places in us that often feel stuck are actually holding the key to our growth and our potential. And so, if I learned how to navigate these different energetic centers, which really, in layman terms, is understanding in my own developmental stages throughout life, what experiences begin to shape who I am, how I feel, how I see the world, how I see myself. And how many of those experiences are actually helping me live the life that I deserve and helping me move towards my full potential, or actually creating little pathways in which I'm getting entangled and deviated from, and I'm getting lost and I'm losing parts of myself that are actually limiting me from living the life that I really want.
I love that. Yep, 100%. I think those questions are very powerful, and those are just a taste of what you're going to discuss on January 25th, because it's asking those questions of how I've been held back, is preventing me, or what am I overdoing, overfunctioning. So, could you walk us a little bit through about like what chakras are? You mentioned like energy centers, but want to make sure people really understand this,
Yeah.
what they are, and then maybe give an example of one of them and how if you have either too much access or a deficient amount of energy in one of those chakras, what that would look like.
Totally. Yeah. And so there's a lot of different definitions for the chakras out there, and a lot of them are, with all due respect, very incorrect.
Right.
A lot of them are referred to as these like disc or wheels that are spinning, and in reality, you can think of them And the bottom line is that these are seven energetic centers located along the spine. And in modern science, we've learned to identify them as different nerve plexuses that come together to form a really powerful center of activity and neuroconnectivity inside of our body, right? Now, when it comes to psychology and the way that both yoga and Ayurveda, which is this kind of sort of like system of holistic science and natural healing, that it's rooted in this word, the Vedic science that I may or may not throw in there from time to time. The way that it's seen is really as these data banks that store and manage our emotional and physical, as well as our spiritual energy. And they're going to be influencing and reflecting both our psychological states, as well as our developmental stages, but also our spiritual growth. And when you look at that, you can see that the chakra system is really offering us a map to understand how our energy flows, how it becomes our behavioral patterns, our thoughts, our actions, and how it really shapes our life as we move through the world and continue to develop as a human being in our full potential. Yeah.
Amazing.
And when you think about them, as let's connect to each one, or let me give you an example
Yeah.
of a way that you can begin to understand the activities, the dynamics of a chakra. Think about the root chakra, right? It's the very basis of who we are, because it's really not only physically located at the base of the spine, so the beginning of our spine, the beginning of the energy that we present in the world. Think about your upper body and the way that we care so much for it. And it's basically here in America and the Western world, we focus a lot on this higher upper body image, and it's almost like our sense of identity and the ways that I present myself in the world. So physically, it's located at the base of the spine. And energetically and psychologically, this is ruling or governing our sense of safety, right? And when you think about perhaps a moment in your life that kind of dismantle that sense of safety. I like to think about people of color and how often they don't feel safe in the world, or they don't feel safe in white predominantly spaces and things like that, right? Or even women, where oftentimes we don't necessarily feel safe inhabiting places that we might be the only one there. And so when you think about this energy of safety, if we are reinforced at a very early developmental stage that I am here, that I have a right to be here, as I navigate my life, if that becomes reinforced, then as a human being, my potential is shaped around the fact that I feel like I have a right to be here. And because I have a right to be here, I feel safe. I feel a sense of belonging, and I'm able to create and manifest the life that I want. I'm able to take the risk of falling in love with life and falling in love with living all over again. Yet, when we are compromised in our sense of safety, let's say that we came into the world and a lack of safety in our family unit wasn't available. And thus, all I know growing up is that that safety feels a little bit wobbly. So I develop a fear, which is the shadow of each chakra. Each chakra is going to give me an energy of potential. Each chakra is going to either help me thrive as a human being, or it's going to give me the opposite side of the same coin, which is the shadow. And we can think about the shadow self of who we are, different little things that we carry that we don't necessarily are aware of, or we like to accept or having integrated in our lives. What if that fear that it's rooted in my sense of belonging and my right to be here is actually shaping the way that I move through the world? And now I don't take risk. I don't even take the risk of going for the education that I really want, or going for the career that I really, really want, or going for the relationship that I really, really want, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid of losing something because I don't feel a sense of safety in my body and in the beginning perceptions of who I am and the ways that I interact in the world.
I love that. I think it's a perfect, I hope that helps people ground a bit of what chakra is. And then as an example, to your point, as a base up chakra, how if that gets affected or not, you've never had a sense of safety when you were younger, how that would affect the rest of your life going forward, which is why we're going to talk about these things and we're going to make sure we're, not, I wouldn't say fixing, but you're having a more proactive, open way of viewing yourself. It's really about your self identity, and the way you see yourself reflects how you're going to show up in the rest of the world. So that was super
Mhm.
helpful. Thank you. Anything else Ida, that you want to just kind of touch upon that you're excited about this workshop? We don't want to give too much away because we don't want to give away the surprise, but are there things that you're excited to share with people? Are there kind of like what a teaser that you want to leave people with?
Yeah, totally. Um, I'd say that one of the most liberating experiences in my life was to understand the chakra system and understand the shadows and then befriend my shadow.
Yeah.
Befriend and come to peace and heal and nurture the versions of me that had that limiting experience that somehow blocked my capacity to feel safe, to feel worthy, to feel confident in myself, to feel like I'm situated in my sense of identity and I'm able to express what I really want in life. I'm able to both exercise, dream, and express my desires. And really, that's how the framework of the chakra works. It's really giving us a map or a road for me to self-understand and really release the shackles that are really holding me back from living the life that I really, really want. And when I'm able to, move through an interactive and self-reflective workshop and experience like this one, where we get to really decode the intricate relationship between our thoughts and our emotions and our energetic anatomy. And when we're able to do that in community, it feels like a very liberating experiences because all of a sudden I'm not really alone in this experience or this journey of really unleashing my full potential. And to dive into the often scary little things of like, what haven't I really noticed? Or where is the grief living in my body that I haven't allowed myself to feel? And how is that shaping the way that I love and receive and give love? Right? What kind of love do I allow myself to experience in life? And all of that is very intertwined with my relationship to grief. After all, I think there's this beautiful quote that says that grief is merely love with nowhere to go.
Mm.
And so when you think about these kind of sort of energies that are here in the center essence of each chakra and the shadow, we're really exploring both sides of the same coin. And if you flip to the right side, you're going to be able to live the life that you really want. And isn't that what we're all looking for, right? To live a life of freedom, to be authentic, to be courageously, you know, vulnerable in a way. Because like that courageous vulnerability is what allows us to develop true intimacy. And without true intimacy, we're lost.
I love it. Could not preach more. And for those of you who are like, what is a shadow? What do you mean by that? Think of shadow as literally all the things that you hide and you don't want the outward world to see, or that you even hide from yourself. Kind of things that you
Yeah.
even blocked out of your mind, right?
Hmm.
And if you are unaware of your shadow, then you're unaware of how it's actually driving your decisions and holding you back. And so 100% I agree with you. I think as the fifth anniversary of this event, my goal is to have everyone come out as the best, the baddest version of themselves. And you
Yeah.
cannot, right, get out there unless you really understand what's going on in your emotional health, as Ida's mentioning, and your physical body, your path, what's your relationship with it. So I'm so excited to have you, Ida. It's going to be interactive. There will be five senses being engaged in every session, especially including Ida's. So we will see you soon, Ida.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited. Yeah.
Of course.